war rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight we have another exciting game of Age of Sigmar. Ryan, bringing out your Tzeentch for the first time in a while,
yes.
At least on the channel.
Yes, it's been a while. Certainly since this new book came out.
Yeah, first time with the new battle. You've played it a couple times, but...
yeah, I think it's probably my most winning list on the channel. Not this specific list, but Army in general, because I won a lot with it with the old book. It was overpowered before.
Yeah, there are definitely some strengths and some changes, obviously, with the new book. But just before we jump into things, I want to say a big thank you to all our YouTube members who help support the channel through our membership and get extra perks, like an extra battle report every week is the big one. But then we have a few different tiers, stuff like the battle breakdowns where we go through in depth right after each battle report now. I'm doing that live, so lots of content in there if you want a little bit more AOS action on your feed. And we've recently relaunched our channel goals, so right now we're with the help of the community, raising the funds to get our Beast of Chaos Army commission painted, and they recently had a new book, so anyone that wants to support in that way also goes a long way as well, so thank you so much. But then looking at the match itself, today we're playing the Nidus Path, so we got 4 objectives: hold 1, hold 2, hold more storing, angle deployment. As you can see, the only weird twist to this one is you can teleport from corner to corner, opposite corners only. We never use it. No one, very rarely. You protect against it, and then everyone moves away, typically. But you always have to be cognizant of it. Otherwise, though, pretty standard mission. So, list time, Ryan, do you want to take us through your Tzeentch?
So, I'm Host Arcanum, if you couldn't guess from all the Screamers everywhere. I have 4 units of 3 Screamers here to get punched, but they're going to get punched like champs. Led by an Auguroid Thaumaturge here. He's my general, so that he can use Arcane Sacrifice to give himself extra range on his spells. He's the sniper build, so he's got Bolt of Tzeentch, and then he has his built-in spell, so 2 D6 mortal wound spells that'll have a 27-inch range. And Arcane Tomb, so you can have a second cast, because if you have 2 spells, you might as well cast both of them.
Yes.
So that's him. We have our Fate Master here. He's pretty standard, but he's got the artifact that Fluxmaster, sorry. Yeah. We got our Fluxmaster here, and he's got the artifact that lets him recover Destiny dice on a 5+. And he knows Fold Reality. Not that he'll probably ever cast it, but his built-in spell is so good. Why would you ever cast it?
Exactly.
But you have to select it, so I selected Fold Reality. We have a Curseling here. He's pretty standard, just knows Shield of Fate, because that spell is overpowered.
Very strong.
Yeah, and then we have our Blue Scribes. They know everything and all, so they're going to do Blue Scribes things. A unit of 10 pinks, and then Kairos himself, and he knows his whole lore, so there's really not a lot to say about him either. Yep. 3 endless spells, pretty standard. We've got the Simulacrum for my free cast at the start of the game, and then Cogs and the Portal, because never leave home without it.
Yes, good staples, and definitely a scary Tzeentch list, but you can see from my deployment, I was aware I've played enough with Tzeentch, that 27-inch spell range, obviously wanted to be careful of that. And today I'm playing Sylvaneth, selected by our YouTube channel members. I'm playing Dreadwood tonight, and just, again, constantly on the hunt with this army of trying different builds out and testing different things. But leading the way, obviously, I have the goddess herself, Alariel here. Gives me a mobile hammer to some extent that can hit, shoot, just kind of multi-purpose. And my only other hero here tonight is the Spirit of Jirthu, who is my general. He's got Warsinger for the +3-inch movement, and the Greenwood Gladius for the extra attacks if he's near Wildwoods and stuff. Then for battle line and other units, I don't have a lot of units. I have 2 units of 5 Tree Revenants for teleporting and objective grabbing, and then a unit of 15 Spite Revenants. Obviously in Dreadwood, they become battle line, and I can do multiple teleports once per game, both with the teleport and strike and fade, so gives me a couple more threats. Other than that, Last unit is not the Revenant Seekers, but the Spite Rider Lancers. Running them for the first time tonight just to try out that kind of unit. I have them and the Spite Revenants in Bounty Hunters, so that does give me a little bit more damage against your Galatian veterans at least. And that's pretty much everything. Last thing to note though is I do have select my 3 overgrown pieces of terrain, being these 2 in the corners and this one in the center here. So that helps me. And then actually my Season of War was the dwindling here for the reroll cast. Obviously helps get important spells off. So hopefully I have a chance to do that today.
Nice.
But that's everything, I think. And we were both 4 drops in our lists. Ryan, you won the roll, so you'd have to drop first, and it's going to leave you with choice here.
I think you're going first.
Okay.
There's a chance I may regret this, but I'm really scared of your double turn.
Fair enough. Well, with that, we'll jump into Sylvaneth, turn 1.
The Changeling casts the Demonic Simulacrum using Arcane Armies, and the bottom right objective is the Proving Ground. Fearing the dominant Tzeentch magic, the Sylvaneth battle tactic is against the odds. The Spirit of Durthr uses heroic leadership while the Ogroid fails. Alariel fails Metamorphosis and has the Spiteswarm Hive unbound, but casts Mystic Shield. Alariel uses Rite of Life. The Demonic Simulacrum deals 7 mortal wounds to Alariel. Ouch. The horrors redeploy, moving 1 inch. Alariel throws the Spear of Kurnoth at the Fluxmaster, who uses the Destiny Dice to save. The horrors unleash hell but deal no damage. Alariel uses all that attack and the horrors defend, but the Everqueen deals no damage. Positioning cautiously far away from their foe, the Sylvaneth score 5 victory points.
Sylvaneth turn 1 was not the best. I made the decision, like with the potential double Ryan you gave me first. I really want to stay outside of your 18-inch spell kill box because you dump 9 spells into me all dealing mortal wounds, right? And that has the potential to rip through Sylvaneth, so I have to play conservative, I feel, off the top, just to try and minimize your damage coming out, which I obviously did effectively from staying away. And Striking Fade was gave me the opportunity to do some damage. Alariel didn't follow through on that opportunity here, unfortunately. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting, I think, first couple turns, where as things start to ramp up, very quickly in the following rounds. But I stayed off that objective just to stay again further away. I don't need it because I take these 2. Yep. I did my hold 2, a hold more, my battle tactics, so I'm on the scoreboard and trying to stay safe, but you obviously have some spells that'll still be able to get to me. Yep. So that's about it. You forgot
about the most important part of the round.
Oh.
The Simulacrum spiked high and did 7 wounds to the Queen.
Trying to forget it. It was
magnificent.
Yeah, very solid. And that's everything though from this round. So we'll just jump into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 1.
Nice.
Amused at the fear shown by their enemy, the Tzeentch battle tactic is against the odds. The Ogroid uses heroic leadership, and Alariel heroically recovers 2 wounds. And then uses 2 Destiny Dice to cast the Chronomantic Cogs. Kairos casts the Umbral Spell Portal, and the Fluxmaster sends Pink Fire of Tzeentch through, dealing 3 mortal wounds to Alariel. The Ogroid casts Mystic Shield on the Horrors, and the Blue Scribes cast Glimpse the Future. Kairos casts Arcane Bolt, then the Infernal Gateway with no target. The Demonic Simulacrum deals 5 mortal wounds to the Spirit of Durthu. The Tree Revenants redeploy, moving 2 inches. The Changeling shoots at the Spite Revenants, dealing 2 damage. The Screamers attack the Tree Revenants, dealing just 1 damage. The Tree Revenants fight back, killing 1 Screamer. Holding back their most devastating spells, the Disciples of Tzeentch score 4 victory points.
Turn is up. It was not as a huge turn as you might expect. Just like Jordan's turn, he was playing very cagey and outside of my range, so I didn't get to cast a whole lot. Actually, that's true. I cast a whole lot, but it did a whole lot of nothing. I succeeded on every one of my spells, so I've got a big pile of Destiny dice here.
Saving them up.
Yep. We did roll decently well on the pink fire. We got 3 mortal wounds, which bounced through the mirrors. The spell portal, and hit Alariel. She tried to heal, but we put her back into bracket, so awesome. I did a little bit of damage to these guys with the shooting attack from the Curseling of all things. Other than that, the Simulacrum kept doing work. It flew over and beat up Durthu. I rolled 5 5s, so he took 5 mortal wounds, which I'm all over. Buffed up the pink horrors so that they're basically unkillable. Not that I expect Jordan to go into them this turn, but you got to put it somewhere, and
yeah.
I mean, it's fine. They can sit there. The Screamers had delusions of grandeur. They thought they were going to go in, do some work. They failed their slashes, all of them.
Did 1 damage.
And then we did 1 damage in combat. Jordan rolled decently well on his saves. I was hoping to kill at least 1, but it didn't happen. And then 1 Screamer died in return. Not a big deal. They're over there. Now you have to deal with them. So it just gives you something to fight about. Yeah, other than that, I got my battle tactic by holding this objective with this wonderful unit of Galatian veterans.
Yes, sir.
I did open up to the Nidus Canals, but I'm not too concerned about it because if you teleport them there, I'm just going to take yours. So I feel pretty confident there. Other than that, yeah, it's just kind of a non-active turn, but I got a whole bunch of Destiny dice, or Fate points. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Fine turn, but nothing too exciting.
Yep, and put us both in a position where it was really my turn, kept you out from doing too much, and set us up here now where we're both in an okay position either way of the priority. It shouldn't...
Yeah, like you were so far away that after movement, most of my spells are still out of range. Because you were trying to stay out at 27, so it's like, if I get double, I'm not going to do a lot of damage, but there's going to be 20 more pink horrors on the board, which is a big problem for you. 10 more, 50 more wounds are going to show up, so anyways.
But we can jump into priority. That's a 5.
You got a 4. Do you want it?
Okay, this is a tough decision. And I think if I don't take it, I'm probably still just him, the Odroid, actually.
Yeah, well, the Odroid will pop you. We'll get through the...
I'm going to... Ryan, I'm going to give you the turn here.
Okay.
Hopefully that ends up being the right decision. Oh, it's so tough. But yeah, we're just going to jump into it, going into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 2.
Okay.
Mocking their cowardly foe, the Tzeentch battle tactic is barge through enemy lines. The Ogroid fails heroic leadership, and Durthu fails heroic recovery. Alariel dispels the Umbral spell portal. The Ogroid uses Arcane Sacrifice and casts Choking Tendrils and Bolt of Tzeentch, dealing 8 mortal wounds to the Spite Revenants. The Curseling casts Glean Magic, then Shield of Fate on the Horrors. Kairos casts Infernal Gateway, Tzeentch's Firestorm, and Unchecked Mutation. The Blue Scribes fail Glimpse the Future, and the Fluxmaster cast Mystic Shield on the Horrors. The Demonic Simulacrum deals 2 mortal wounds to Alariel. The Disciples of Tzeentch spend 20 fate points to summon 10 pink horrors. Oh, here we go. The horrors use all-out attack and kill 3 Spite Revenants. The Spite Revenants use Inspiring Presence. With their demons swarming the battlefield, the Disciples of Tzeentch score 5 victory points.
All right. It was quite the turn. As expected, there wasn't a lot of magic flying around, or at least offensive magic, because Jordan was hiding. But I did cast just enough spells to be able to summon 20 pinks. I hit 20 exactly. The Blue Scribes failed their 2 up, otherwise it would have been 21. But low margin for error, but I got there. So now I have twice as many pink horrors on the table, which puts me in, I think, a fairly safe position. Didn't do a ton of damage this time. The Simulacrum, it was tired. It had 2 great turns.
Yeah.
This turn it had a bad turn. Put a couple wounds on the Queen, which is fine. I mean, not complaining about that, but not a ton. Put a whole ton of mortal wounds on them. Not a ton else. Some Screamers fled. Did some slashing. Did a couple mortal wounds. My battle tactic was barge through enemy lines, and I did it with Galician Veteran, so I got the bonus point, which keeps me close to Jordan, even though I did not hold more, which I just didn't see a practical way of doing it without overexposing myself. I did touch his objective with 1 Screamer, not because I thought I'd take it, but it just means he has to now invest something into holding it, and he can't just go running off with his 2 heroes. Because
it's just a consideration.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You want to use those heroes to kill something scarier than 100 points in Screamers. So something's going to have to deal with those Screamers, or you're going to give up an objective, which puts me in a great spot, I think, for that. So yeah, it was overall, I'd say, a fine turn.
Yep.
I did a good chunk of damage. I'm in a good KG position. You're up on... No, I'm up because I've had 2 turns tier 1.
But yes,
you'll probably be
a little
up on
ahead
me after this turn.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here.
Yeah.
And that's about everything, I think.
Yep. You didn't battle shock them.
I have CP for Inspiring Presence.
I figured you were going to.
Yeah, Rise holding them. But yeah, otherwise, I think we can jump into Sylvaneth turn 2.
Sounds good.
Forced into action, the Sylvaneth battle tactic is also barge through enemy lines. Durthu heroically recovers 1 wound, and the Ogroid fails heroic leadership. Alariel has Metamorphosis unbound by the Curseling, who then casts Glean Magic. Alariel heals using Life Bloom and has Regrowth and Throne of Vines Unbound. Kairos dispels the Chronomantic Cogs. The Screamers redeploy, moving 6 inches. Durthu shoots at the Screamers, dealing 4 damage, and Alariel misses her shot. Alariel stomps to finish off the Screamers, and Durthu roars at the Horrors. The Spite Riders use Solid Attack, dealing 8 damage to the Horrors and 2 to the Screamers. The Spite Revenants attack and eliminate the Screamers, then use Strike and Fade. The Screamers attack Durthu, dealing 2 damage. The Spirit of Durthu fights back and takes out the Screamers, then uses, you guessed it, Strike and Fade. The Horrors use the Inspired Triumph, but deal no damage to the Spite Riders. Darting in and out from their wild woods, the Sylvaneth score 6 victory points.
Sylvaneth turn 2 was, good from a scoring perspective. Got the bonus point also for getting barge through enemy lines with the Latian veterans. Also took your
Backfield objective.
Your objectives to get to hold more. Trying to play the scoring game, but also kind of my strategy coming into this was trying to set up giveaway priority into play defensive early and then get a big double at some point to try and again make a crippling blow and then try and coast to the, straight to the end.
Well, your opportunity's about to happen.
This is the opportunity. You did get a number of wounds on Alariel again, and just with your board control, wasn't able to get all my units effectively into combats. Though the ones that did pretty good. Lifted 3 units of Screamers this turn, which also is a lot of your speed right now.
Yep.
But the Spite Rider Lancers, or the Revenant Seekers, Spite Rider Lancers, that's one. I was expecting more of them. The -1 to hit, I used all attack, but it still reduces their efficiency. And with dice being dice, just didn't get the damage through that I wanted. So in the end, decent turn overall. I can't complain too much. And again, set myself up in the best position to capitalize on a double, I think, or a priority win here.
Yep.
So let's just jump into Orion.
I got a 4.
That's a 2.
I gotta take it.
Yep.
There's no way I cannot take this.
Heartbreaking for Sylvaneth, but we'll jump into Disciples of Tzeentch turn 2. It's turn 3, sorry.
Turn 3?
In range to unleash their strongest magic, the Tzeentch battle tactic is 9-fold dismantlement. The Ogroid uses Heroic Leadership, and Durthu heroically recovers 2 wounds. Alariel dispels the Demonic Simulacrum. The Blue Scribes use their Scrolls of Sorcery to cast the Chronomantic Cogs. Kairos casts Infernal Gateway, Tzeentch's Firestorm, and Unchecked Mutation, dealing 8 mortal wounds to Durthu. The Curseling has Metamorphosis Unbound, then casts Shield of Fate on the Horrors. The Ogroid casts Choking Tendrils, dealing 4 mortals to finish off Durthu, then Bolt of Tzeentch deals 1 mortal to the Spite Rider Lancers. The Fluxmaster casts Pink Fire of Tzeentch, dealing 3 mortal wounds to the Spite Riders. Alariel redeploys, moving 6 inches. The Disciples of Tzeentch spend 10 fate points to summon 3 Screamers. The Horrors use solid attack and the Spite Riders defend but take 6 damage, losing 2. The Screamers deal 2 damage and kill a Tree Revenant. The Spite Rider deals 4 wounds to the Horrors, who do no damage in return. The Revenants fight the Screamers and deal 7 damage. The last Spite Rider uses Inspiring Presence. Overwhelming their foe with a tide of demons, the Disciples of Tzeentch score 4 victory points.
Alright, so there's my turn. It was interesting. I did the battle tactic to kill Durthu. Durthu died, so that part was great. I did whiff a couple of spells.
With the heroic recovery and a couple of key unbinds, it actually...
Yeah, it was
You had
close.
to invest a lot more. We both knew it was going to happen, but you had to invest more than you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. So there was that. So that went fine. What didn't go so fine was I whiffed a lot of combat rolls. I mean, it's not the end of it. You don't plan for the Tzeentch to do well in the combat, but Screamers charged in here, had 9 attacks, all out attack, hitting on 2+, and I missed 5 of them. So that was a chosen story all over again. And then they got their butts kicked with the swing back because the things they were supposed to kill didn't die, obviously. So that put me... I was hoping to take this objective, which I failed to take. I did summon Screamers over there, so I was able to take that objective. I went for a greedy play with the Ogroid. I was going to put him into combat, and then Jordan did a redeploy and rolled a 6, and it put him in a situation where he was contesting that objective.
Yeah, because you had wanted to finish this guy off, get in there, which he could have, but it gave Valariel the reroll, which kind of denied both.
Yeah, so that was a problem, because if I hadn't done that, I could have summoned the 3 Screamers here and taken this objective without charging. So basically that 6 redeploy cost me a point.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not too concerned there. When the Horrors went to fight, 21 attacks, hitting on 4s, I missed with 16. No, 17. 17 missed, so another kind of big whiff. But in the shooting phase, they had blown apart 2 of the bugs, so it's not a terrible situation there. Overall, it wasn't the most exciting turn. I did score my points. I really wish I had taken this objective so I at least keep even with you. Your resources are starting to decline, whereas mine are... I'm still at full potential pretty much. You're taking Screamers down, which I can summon a unit a turn effectively. Yeah. You haven't taken out any of my heroes. I think probably something goes down this turn because Alariel's going to choose something and kill it.
Well...
Or try.
Yeah.
Or try. But there was never going to be a point where that wasn't going to be a possibility. So I think, yeah, we're just kind of interesting spot here. A double would be very scary for me right now. But yeah, I think it's a close game. You definitely have a solid lead, but the attrition game probably goes to Tzeentch in the long run.
It can catch up. Yeah, for sure.
Unless you have a double here where all my heroes die, and then you just win.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we're obviously going to try and do some damage.
Yep.
And score some points, win the game, easy peasy. But first, we got to jump into Sylvaneth, turn 3.
On their back foot, the Sylvaneth battle tactic is harness the spirit paths. Alariel uses heroic leadership, and Kairos uses their finest hour. Alariel completely heals with Life Bloom, then fails to cast Verdurous Harmony and Throne of Vines, and has Metamorphosis Unbound. Alariel shoots at the Fluxmaster, who uses a Destiny dice to survive it. Alariel fails to stomp the Screamers. The Spite Rider attacks, dealing 5 damage to the Horrors, then use Strike and Fade. The Horrors attack the Spite Revenants, killing 1. Alariel uses all that attack and the Screamers defend, but she still takes them out. The Tree Revenants take out the Screamer, and the Spites just deal 1 damage to the Horrors. Continuing to fight hard and refusing to back down, the Sylvaneth score 5 victory points.
Sylvaneth, turn 3. Again, just doing enough to keep ahead and keep slightly growing that lead. Just wanted to make sure here I could have gone for Tyros, could have gone for the kill. You did Finest Hour. That was, in my mind, it was never reliable, right?
Yeah, but it was like a go for the throat play that if it failed, it puts you in a bad spot.
Yes, so better to go for the Screamers, I felt. Strike and Fade to also get my battle tactic with this guy, getting me this objective, giving me the hold more, another 1 point advantage throughout this round, so keeping that up, I teleported over there to go for Long Bomb charge into the Fluxmaster. Could have been nice.
Blue Stripes.
Oh, that's Blue Stripes, right. Regardless, it's less enticing. I thought I was thinking Fluxmaster. I threw in the Spite Revenants, was hoping for more damage out of them. You made dice were dice. Had a factor, could have done a little more, but with how that ended up, I feel like I maybe should have just left them back there.
I whiffed hard though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and it does keep, if you win priority, keep you tied up there.
Well, probably not, because I'll blow them to pieces.
That's fair. But it forces you to do that.
Yep.
So, in the end, got my 5 points, keeping ahead on the scoreboard, and putting you in a position now where you're having to spread out a lot more. You don't have like obvious easy plays. We're just really scraping for every last point now throughout the rest of this game, and we are into another priority roll going into round 4.
5.
6.
No.
I'm going to take the turn here.
Yeah, this is
not
bad.
that I'm not necessarily going to do a ton of damage or anything, but it'll give me the opportunity to score some more points, which is always big. So with that, we'll go into Sylvaneth, turn 4.
Needing to swing the momentum, the Sylvaneth battle tactic is desecrate their lands. Alariel uses heroic leadership and the Ogroid uses their Finest Hour. The Spite Rider rallies and returns 2 models. Alariel miscasts Metamorphosis but heals the wound with Life Bloom. The Blue Scribes redeploy, moving 3 inches. Alariel shoots at the Ogrid, who uses a Destiny dice to make the save. Alariel uses Titanic Duel and Kairos fails his Roar. The Spite Riders use all that attack and deal 10 damage to the Horrors, then Strike and Fade. The Spite Revenants deal 5 more damage to the Horrors. Kairos attacks Alariel, dealing 6 damage to her. Fighting back, Kairos uses all of defense, but Alariel still deals 10 damage to him. The Horrors use all that attack and deal 7 damage to the Spite Revenants. Truly taking the fight to the demons, the Sylvaneth score 5 victory points.
Sylvaneth turn 4 was pretty solid. I ended with more wounds on the table than I started with.
Yeah, that was...
Setting up for the 5-up rally, obviously the previous turn by retreating out. I rolled 2 6s, didn't even need the 5-ups. That was extra spicy. Let them whip in. Was hoping to do a little more damage to the horrors, but in the end, I did a bunch. My revenants are still there, keeping them tied up, so you have to put resources there. Went into Kairos, also was less risk. Also let me stay on this objective. I bracketed him, so it affects his spell, and I'm in a decent scoring position. I got a good amount of points, got my battle tactic, and now I'm just, again, all game I've just been scraping every point I can hoping to survive as long as I can.
You're well ahead now.
Well, you're gonna have a, obviously, turn here, and then we're into another priority, but I guess before that, we'll see what you want to do. And Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 4.
Startled at their enemy's resurgence, the Tzeentch battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Ogroid uses heroic leadership, and Alariel uses their finest hour. Alariel dispels the chronomantic cogs. The Curseling fails Metamorphosis, but casts Shield of Fate on Kairos. Kairos casts Tzeentch's Firestorm, but deals no damage, then miscasts Infernal Gateway. Ouch, that sucks. The Ogroid fails to cast Choking Tendrils and miscasts both of Tzeentch. Yeah, this is not going well. The Flux Master deals 2 mortal wounds to the Spite Revenants with Pink Fire of Tzeentch. The Blue Scribes cast the Demonic Simulacrum, which then deals 5 mortals to the Spites. The Horrors use at the double. The Disciples of Tzeentch spend 10 fate points to summon 10 blue horrors. Of course. The horrors shoot at the tree revenants, dealing 2 damage. Desperately trying to take the battlefield back, the Disciples of Tzeentch score 4 victory points.
Alright, interesting turn. The casting phase
was excellent.
I miscast with Kairos, and then I miscast with the Ogroid. Meaning my magic phase was like a giant whiff. The one thing I did, I got the Simulacrum back and it cleared out that unit there.
As well as the Foxmaster's Pink Horror of Tzeentch.
Yeah, that's right. Pink Fire got off. And then that got me enough fate points just to get 10 blues. That was a real bit disappointing moment when all those miscasts happened because the opportunities went down. And Kairos managed to bracket himself one more to the bottom bracket, which meant 6-inch movement instead of 8, which actually mattered because I was going to try and finagle it, so he was just barely on the objective still, which meant the horse had to run over and take it. But they got there. They got 6 guys on just to take it. It's an interesting situation. I really kind of hummed a hawed about certain positions. Yeah, it's tough. Jordan, going into the 5th battle round, Jordan's up 4 points. It's very reasonable that I can deny him his grand strategy, and it's very difficult for him to deny mine. So we can call it effectively you're up 1 point.
Yep.
So I got to swing 2 points to win, 1 point to tie.
Yep. And
I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, let's jump into priority first. So that obviously is a factor. Well, I was going to be a 6, but it's a 5. You got to beat it. Tie it. I win ties. Look at that. We're going to go into Sylvaneth, turn 5.
Sensing a chance to snatch victory, the Sylvaneth battle tactic is eye for an eye. Alariel uses heroic leadership, and Kairos heroically recovers 1 wound. Alariel has Metamorphosis and Arcane Bolt Unbound, but does cast Tree Song. The Demonic Simulacrum deals 4 mortal wounds to the Spite Riders. Alariel uses Titanic Duel and Kairos fails his roar. The Sprite Riders fight and take out the blue scribes. Alariel uses all that attack and Kairos defends, but the Everqueen finishes him off. Making a statement to the Chaos powers, the Sylvaneth score 5 victory points.
Let's go, Sylvaneth. What a beautiful turn. That was nice. We did everything we needed to here. Basically, again, knowing or expecting to fail my grand strategy, you just have so many heroes, you can easily bump them over there. The best guarantees for me to hold more was to teleport here also. And my bunch could have stayed here to reinforce this objective, make it hard, you can't summon on there, and I'd probably hold that objective. But even still, more important than that, the 1 point from the objective, which actually, the 1 point from the objective is me. I needed to make sure I got my battle tactic.
Yep.
To be able to hold on points wise, and they were just another opportunity for me to get eye for an eye.
Well, we saw what she did on turn 1.
Yes, exactly.
If that had happened again to you, then it would have been.
But the exact opposite happens, and she did 20 damage to Kairos before the ward saves.
I was gonna say I made like 5 of those.
Yeah, a bunch of ward saves, but she went Hulk mode, full out. I had to make sure I didn't give these guys a redeploy or tag them or anything, so they pile in. Everything was able to just kind of squeak in position to make it possible. And obviously, in the end, like, I obviously happy with Sylvaneth. I feel like I've got really the order of priority in this game went perfectly to plan from the start for me, right?
Yes.
Where I won turn 2, gave it away.
When it was useless.
I didn't get the double into 3. But I did then get it into 4 and maintain it in 5. So, like from an army that was matchup-wise a little on the ropes, I had to kind of gamble on a little bit of luck, and the luck definitely fell my way with the priority rolls.
I was really lucky at the start of the game. Like, I was rolling hot in the first couple turns.
With the mortals.
Yeah. And then the last couple turns, it just went off a cliff.
Literally, like even the turn I unbound spell portal stopped a big spells coming out, and anyways, let's finish up the game. I scored 5 points here to my battle tactic, and we were just kind of talking about this final turn.
Yep.
And you have a good shot at getting 5 points here.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if I whiff my spells like crazy again, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But to get 5 points, all I have to do is. Like, I have 5 casts here, I have to kill 4 models.
Yeah, to get an eye for an eye. You could do it here, either way.
It would definitely be here, because everything's in range here.
Yeah, so definitely have...
So 5 spells, 10 blue aura shooting.
There's a Tzeentch one to take an objective with a unit of 10 models. I don't know if it has to be starting army, but you could theoretically just walk your horrors on. Regardless, Ryan's going to get his battle tactic here. You're able to get 3 objectives to get hold more, so you'll score your 5 points as well at the end of the game. You will be able to just move 2 heroes in there, deny me my grand strategy, and you store yours because you still have
lots
of the Destiny Ice over a value of 9 combined, giving you 3 points there, but just not enough in the end. And 1 point victory to Sylvaneth.
Yeah, we were talking about there was that one mistake I made that denied myself 1 point when I let Alariel
redeploy out the objective.
So it could have been a tie if I didn't make that mistake. So that's all on me.
And it's funny, at the time I was like, Brian, this isn't going to likely come down to a 1 point game, so it probably won't matter in the end. But again, hey, I won 3 priorities today, so that's always unexpected.
Yeah, I've been on a priority losing streak. It's pretty. I won one of them today, which was pretty good. But priority matters in this game, especially because the double turn's so valuable. When someone gives you it when you don't want it,
exactly,
it's so bad.
And that's where it's like there's a lot of depth to obviously like priority in that. And if you play within mind and position well to like be able to force your opponent into bad spots. We both were in a position where it's like we don't really want to take it. And
yeah, well, I mean, you effectively there was the first turn. My first turn was like a null magic phase. I got a few casts off, but I really didn't do much. Then that double turn was a null magic phase because you did it at the right time, And then I had that whiff phase, so 3 of my 5 magic phases were not good.
Yeah.
Like I got a ton of casts, I got the fate points, but I wasn't doing damage.
Yeah.
Except for with the Simulacrum.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of key binds here and there as well. In there, I mean, what else? The rally on the
that was so.
The bugs was huge. I again expected 1, prayed for 2.
Well, maybe
got
1.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 is huge. Like it's 10 wounds coming back on the board that does 16-inch flying movement.
14, but yeah. It was big. Attacking first on the charge, striking and fading. Just, I mean,
the attack first, I don't really care about, but it's just the fact that all of a sudden this objective that I thought was finally clear was finally not clear.
Yeah, I had 15 wounds on it. So.
And I just couldn't come take it because the whole game I could never hold more.
Yeah. Talking about them as a unit, because it was the first time I ran the Revenant Seekers. Spite Rider Lancers, sorry. They were okay. Like the wounds, great. Having the bodies there, having a mobile unit, great. I kind of prefer the Revenant Seekers because they can bring back models on a 2-up. So even if I didn't get the rally or I only got 1, they'd bring another one back, and they can do that in combat as well. I like that better, and more reliable damage to more stuff. Here, they only felt like they were decent damage really against Galatian veterans,
which was most of my army.
A lot of your army, but even like we saw, it's like how many times did I attack the unit of horrors, and I whittled it down. It's still 20 bodies. I didn't reduce that unit's effectiveness. So
it doesn't make fate points anymore.
It doesn't make fate points anymore. That's true. But yeah, so I think I still prefer the Revenant Seekers.
Yep. Yeah, like they just don't have enough attacks to get as much value out of the bounty hunters. Like that unit over there, full size, just terrifies me.
Yes, yeah, and that's where the turn 3 priority. If I had have gotten that, and because I had cleared the whole thing, they could have, taken out half a unit of horrors.
Yep.
It easily done 20 plus wounds to it, but
so that's why I put so much into them, because I knew.
Yep.
I mean, 30 some odd attacks coming in, so damage 2.
And 30 wounds. It took a lot of investment to take them out too.
Yeah, they're tanky now. I remember for the longest time this stuff was so trash. I just throw stuff at it and just keel over dead.
Yeah, bumping up to 2 wounds was
every
a huge
time I
improvement.
put Screamers into them, they just got their butts kicked.
Yeah.
Screamers, I thought I really liked them in the new book. I've been disappointed with them consistently.
Yeah.
Like they're good for flying off and taking objectives screens, but they don't do any damage.
Yeah. No, it's like chip damage here or there.
Yep.
Only in situations where they are at, going into a 5-wound wizard who's not doing any damage back.
Yep. And even then, they're probably not going to kill him.
Yeah. No, but over a couple
turns.
Like 10 chip a damn wound here or there.
Like they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad, but
they're not doing damage. Like
when I first saw them, I'm like, all right, the points didn't change. They hit harder. The slash is better. This is all great. They're GVs.
Yeah.
GVs didn't turn out to be a benefit.
Yeah. Just slight chip damage, not something you're really relying on in the army.
So no, I need the magic to do damage. That's all the damage this army has, and you denied it. Well, you didn't deny it. You hid from it. Yes.
Yeah. But guys, in the end, hope you enjoyed that match. Don't forget, if you enjoy our content, go check out our YouTube membership and a plethora of ways to support the channel and get more content and more fun stuff. Either way, Ryan, that's a great game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and we'll see you soon in another video.